Flight was not only Zemeckis' first live-action movie since Castaway, but it was his first R-rated movie since Used Cars. It also happens to be the only film in this Zemeck-ithon that I had already seen, but completely forgot everything about. And rewatching it, I think I know why. Pilot William Whitaker, played by Denzel Washington, is a cocaine-using, alcohol-abusing man who one day manages to crash land a plane in a field after a malfunction. Only 6 on board die, but soon an investigation starts that reveals William had a high blood alcohol level that should get him arrested for flying the plane in the first place. And the rest of the movie follows him trying to prove his innocence, but can't fight his chronic alcoholism. If I could compare this movie to anything, it would be Amistad, in that it starts out really well. In fact, the beginning could be a great short film, but then it just squanders to a halt with a lot of talking, and while the stuff they're talking about isn't uninteresting, it doesn't really justify its length. Alright, let's start with the good stuff. The acting is great. I mean, Denzel Washington is Denzel Washington. Even in his weakest stuff, I don't think I've ever seen him be anything less than decent. In here, he does a good job of having us sympathize with his character, even though he keeps making mistakes. John Goodman is also really good. He provides some great comic relief. And pretty much everyone else does a good job as well. It also looks really good and has some nice camera shots. And I also like the conflict. The guy who technically isn't a bad guy, but just keeps making dumb mistakes that make him look even more guilty. Kinda reminded me of BoJack Horseman in a way. But by far the best thing about this movie is the plane crash. If I learned anything doing these reviews, it's give Zemeckis a mode of transportation and he will make a great action scene out of it. This plane crash is one of the greatest I have ever seen. It's intense, scary, has phenomenal camera work and special effects. It's an absolute spectacle.
Oh Lord, we're coming out of 7,000. I see nothing but houses.
Evan, listen to me. When I say I want you to retract the flaps, retract the gear, trim us nose down, okay? But everything's gonna be opposite, so make sure you trim us nose down.
Hey, trim down, what are you gonna do?
Margaret, when I tell you I want you to push these forward, full power, full throttle, can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, when I tell you...
Wait, sir, what are we doing? Why would I trim down?
We're gonna roll it, okay?
What do you mean, roll it?
Gotta do something to stop this guy. Margaret, what's your son's name?
Trevor.
Say I love you, Trevor.
What?
Black box, say I love you, Trevor.
I love you, Trevor. You be a good boy. Mommy loves you.
Okay, here we go. I've got control.
Besides that, the build up to the crash is also really good. The first half hour of this movie is fantastic, but then afterward it just sort of slows down. There's a lot of talking, and while some of it's interesting, a lot of it just drags. This movie did feel like it was almost 2.5 hours, because it was, but I shouldn't feel the length. I won't spoil the ending, but it doesn't leave you with the greatest feeling, so it doesn't have the best rewatch value. And at times it kind of feels like a PSA about not drinking. So yeah, the movie isn't bad. I think if you're into more talky movies, you'll probably love this. As for me, I'm glad I saw it, if anything, for that great plane crash, but I really don't see myself watching it again. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's a decent film, but not the great Zemeckis live-action movie that most people were hoping for. Will his next film fill that gap? Well, join me tomorrow for the final day of this Zemeck-ithon as we talk about The Walk. See you then.